You are now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked.
And we are recording. This is an actual. We're just starting.
Nice now.
Yeah.
And I'm giving you full notice.
No soft intros this time.
No soft intros. Fuck the
I
soft
like
intros.
that. I like that.
Hello, friends. You're listening to the Friends of Rugby.
You're getting good at that, eh?
We're a little late. We're a little late this week. Frank,
Yeah.
do you want to explain to everyone why we're having to do this podcast
For
days
the
late?
sake of comedy, I will. So I have had a mole removed from my arse cheek.
I thought it was 2.
Yeah, one on each cheek. But one's a biopsy and one was it needs to come out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So yes, we had to postpone the podcast because Frank had to have surgery on his butt.
They've got like 8 stitches on one side.
How are you sitting in that chair?
Well, did you notice I put a big cushion there? So it cushions
Oh.
my...
Do you have some ice underneath that ass cheek?
No, but you know, I had to shower today, so I took the bandaging off, and ripping off my ass hair with the was miserable. And then when I got out, I got 2 of those. You know, they're like kind of cotton pad things.
Mm-hmm.
Put 2 of them over the stitches and just put like rugby tape over it, basically. So right now I have 2 cotton pads and a bit of rugby tape on my ass. And as you've noticed, I'm limping a bit.
How uncomfortable was it? You're just laying on that table with your ass cheeks out.
I have had a lot of moles removed recently. Well, 3, like extracted. Do you know what I mean? Like people think, oh, they just chip a bit off, and no, they've all come back dysplastic, which isn't as scary as it sounds. And they take a chunk out, and there's a bit of my ass cheek floating in a jar next to my head as this nurse is washing my ass. With why did you make me talk about this?
The people want to hear these stories. This is why they really tune in.
I fucking
They
hope
want to know
so.
about your butt cheeks.
Fucking hope so. I'm gonna get doxxed because of all the private information I'm supplying. But how are you?
Good. I didn't have any surgery on my butt.
No.
Everything's going a-okay
Yeah.
so far. Just
Yeah.
getting pumped up. It's coming down to the wire. We're gonna be going to.
Six Nations.
Wales.
Oh,
We're gonna be going to Wales.
we are
soon.
doing that as well.
That's coming up.
It is coming up. Yeah, it is coming up. I've got my Canadian passport in the post as well.
Are you gonna travel with the Canadian passport?
I think I am for the first time ever traveling with a Canadian passport. Do you know what I think we need though? You know, Six Nations is coming up, and everyone starts getting that Sixmas feeling. We need a Six Nations song. You know, I don't want a lot for Sixmas.
Something like that.
Something like that. Just gets you in the mood. You know.
Like Monday Night Football.
How does that go?
It's like a country song. It's like it's Monday Night Football.
Something like that.
And then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Sunday or Thursday or some shit.
Because Wales have a Six Nations song. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Do you know the band The Stereophonics?
No.
If I played you a few of their songs, you'd be like, "Oh, it's those
Name
guys."
one of their songs.
Have a nice day, da 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 da
No.
da. Da.
Oh, that sounds kind of familiar.
You'd know, yeah. They've
Yeah.
got a bunch of songs like that are in movie soundtracks. They're famous enough. Do you know what I mean? They have a song called "As Long as We Beat the English," and it was our Six Nations anthem. I hope it still is. But to be honest, we've lost a bit of that animosity towards the English, and not in a good way. Like I think it's nice to have an enemy in rugby, isn't it? You know. And I think we're just so shit now. We've lost our way.
I think probably because in rugby in general, I think
Yeah.
it's because the players are so mixed now. They
Yeah.
probably weren't mixed a lot.
Not to
in
the
older
same
days.
extent. Not to the same
So, like,
extent. Yeah.
Irish players, Scottish players, Welsh players, English
Yeah.
players, they're all playing on the same teams together
Yeah.
all over the fucking
They
place.
see each other all the time. Yeah. But I think as well, I think England has shed its image of private school boys playing rugby. It still exists, but they've just got a lot more guys from working class backgrounds and stuff. Their team just feels more like humans instead of top hat and cane guys, you know?
The private schoolboy thing is like every
It's
Union.
everywhere except Wales, actually. Yeah, we've
Wales is
we've
the
got like
working man's
we've
team.
still got like skinny coal miners starting for our teams.
I think I saw something on TV, like, or a snippet on YouTube about the history of like Welsh rugby, and it was
Yeah.
like, they're a bunch of factory workers
Yeah,
and
yeah.
coal miners, and then they finally got up to like
Yeah.
go play the English, and they're all dirty,
No matching jerseys, like putting cigarettes out on the touchline as they run on, you know.
and they would beat them.
Yeah,
It would
it
beat
was,
the English.
it was a real like underdog story for a long time. Now it feels like we've got all the resources we need to succeed, and we've just spunked it, and we're shit. And it's like
Back in the day, those English players, those young, especially the young guys, they must have been scared
to play Wales.
to go to Wales because Wales is a bunch of hard fucks. And then you got the English that come, Daddy, can you get my boots, Daddy? Like that in my mind, that's how I see it. Like, there's no way a guy like that
Yeah,
has come from his prep school
yeah,
to go beat a bunch of like,
hard Valley men.
yeah. factory workers and shit.
Although I remember listening
I live
to
in pain.
I remember listening to a bunch of guys a bunch of Welsh players who used to talk about that when they were playing for their local club, and they'd go over the border to play like a private English school, and they'd always get beaten by the private English schools because they're better fed, better resources, more money, you know, better drills, better coaches. So they'd go over there, we're just the plucky hard guys, no one's as tough as us Welsh Valley boys, and they get there and know these are some hard bastard English boys, you know.
They're all like 20, 22, but they look like they're 50.
Yeah. They've just got fucking biceps coming out their ears.
Have you ever seen those videos online of the most feared rugby players?
Yeah.
I watched one a couple days ago. It was like on these French players.
Yeah.
They had these two guys. I forget their names.
Sebastian Chabal and
No.
also
This
Sebastian
is like older.
Chabal.
This is like 70s and 60s.
Oh, okay.
These guys looked like ogres. Like, they actually looked like, you know, like in those like pictures of like those circus freak shows
Yeah.
of like the strongmen, they
Yeah.
look like cavemen.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
these guys,
massive foreheads.
these guys legitimately looked like that. Like they came from
Yeah.
a circus freak show.
Yeah.
Just fucking hard. One guy like started playing rugby as an adult. They
Yeah.
just saw him, and he was huge, and like he come play, and then he became like the most violent player. in
That's how we
France.
recruit for our club, isn't it? We just spot people who just look like they can take a beating, stick them in a jersey.
Hey, you look tough as shit. You want to play
Yeah.
some rugby?
Probably how it worked.
You know,
in the
usually
70s.
I talk to a lot of people, like I see that I like, oh, that guy's huge, I should ask him.
Yeah.
They're always a lot of them say no, like, oh,
Well, because
rugby,
they're
no.
playing football usually, aren't they?
Or they just don't, they're
American
scared, they
football.
don't want to do it.
That
Or
is true.
Every single fucking guy, oh, I got bad knees,
Yeah.
I got bad ankles.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck off, man. It's kinda-
Rugby is one of those weird things, right? Because, and you've talked about this a lot to me, like how you could be the biggest, strongest, toughest guy. You'll go through a game of rugby, and with all respect to these guys, they'll go, what the fuck was that? Never again. Fine. And then you'll find some angry midget who just plays 80 minutes every game for the rest of his life, right? It's hard. There's something internal. There's something mental about enjoying rugby, isn't there?
Yeah, some of the hardest rugby players I've met in person
Yeah.
that I've played with, they were like the tiny guys.
Yeah. They don't
Small
look like
man
a lot,
syndrome.
do they? Yeah, maybe.
Small man syndrome. They're just fucking, they got a lot to prove. The world's against them, and they just take it out on the field.
Yeah, and there's some guys who just have less nerve endings. They just don't feel pain in the same way. Like, I don't know how some people go through these games and come out smiling, holding their teeth in their hand, you know? Because towards the tail end of my quote-unquote career, I'm getting to that stage now where it's like every tackle is like, why? What am I doing? Like, my shoulder is so fucked. Like, it's just not worth it, you know?
I went one of my first tackle practices ever. They're like, oh yeah, pair up with someone roughly your size. And I see this guy, he's like a smaller guy.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, I'll team up with him,
yeah,
right? Not knowing anything about him. And in our first tackle, he comes in and tackles me, and he just fucking destroys me.
yeah.
Like, sends me to heaven. You can see my soul leave my body. I was like, oh, what the fuck? They're like, oh yeah, tell me he's a fucking hard hitter.
Yeah,
Steve. I
like getting
tell
hit
you.
by some scaffolding.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, those little skinny guys, eh?
I
Made of
always tell people, you'll know if you like rugby. You'll either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
The first time
Yeah.
you hit someone or someone hits you,
iron. Yeah,
and it's most likely someone's gonna hit you. Someone's gonna come and just
from the side.
yeah,
You're not expecting
car
it.
crash you.
Yeah.
And then when you get up, right at that moment, you're gonna
Yeah.
be like, I love this or
Yeah.
I hate this.
It's a real fight or flight thing, isn't it? Like, and I'm not making out like I'm a hard, tough guy. I'm not. If someone punched me in the face, I'd probably cry. But on a rugby field, I prefer getting tackled to do the tackling. There's something
Something weird
genuinely,
about
there's something
it.
masochistic about it. Like, I don't
Yeah.
mind it. Like, I really don't mind getting knocked on my ass. Like,
I'll run into like traffic, no problem. Get the
Yeah.
ball, I'll run into like five guys, no
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
No problem. A big guy starts running at me, and I still go, okay, here we go. So
Because there's
fuck.
pressure, right?
Yeah, there is
Like,
pressure.
hit me all day. If I miss this tackle, I got 14 guys who are going to be pissed off at me. Like, the pressure is unreal. Anyway,
And that speed, it's kind of scary. Some guys get some big speed. I hate tackling.
those guys who run right at you, they have no intention of stepping or swerving. They're
It's
going
not the
through
big, huge guys that I'm worried about when they're running at me because they're usually slower and there's
Yeah.
a lot more of them to like.
There's a lot of thigh to aim at usually,
Yeah,
isn't there?
there's a lot.
Yeah.
It's easier to get lower on them. It's the small guys that get up to like really high speeds.
Oh yeah.
Because you know it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just regardless, it's just like physics. Like
Yeah.
they're running at you full tilt. They're
Yeah.
getting and they're super fast.
Yeah.
And now you got to stop them in their tracks.
And they don't care if you're there, do they? They're
No.
not considering you tackling them. They-
Usually they'll run like backs will because I'm talking about backs.
Yeah.
Like they'll usually run around you or away from you.
yeah.
Which I love. but
Yeah.
but like when you square one up and you're like, this is gonna hurt.
It's gonna fucking
right?
hurt. Yeah.
Like give me a fucking lock and I don't give a fuck. Like a prop.
yeah.
Like they could run at me all day.
Yeah.
Because they don't get that speed.
yeah.
Right. And it's a lot easier to like get lower on a
is.
tall guy, grab some legs.
Yeah. 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 No, I know what you mean. Yeah, and that little bit of fear of the speedy boys running at me, like it's gone from I enjoy this to being like there's enough in my brain now that goes, this is scary, to be like, okay, maybe it's time to just be a rugby person and not a rugby player, you know?
I'm gonna try to play till I'm 50.
Good for you.
I think I can do it. I think I can push it.
I'm gonna write it on a bit of paper.
There was that guy that played for our team last summer. He was 56,
And he was a bulldog.
and he was a legit
still is a bulldog. Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's even shaped like a fucking
yeah, he's the most
bulldog.
hard-nosed hooker. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
He was a hard.
That's what I'm saying. There's
fucking guy.
some people who are just built for it forever, you know?
I would want to like. I was just like, there were some games where we were just getting our asses kicked. I was like, oh fuck, I don't want to play this. He's just out there, just still going. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, okay, I
Yeah.
better get up. And like
Yeah.
he's like, let's go, let's fucking do
Yeah,
this, boys.
yeah.
Like,
Let the rage out, right?
yeah,
It's therapy
no
for some
fucks
guys,
given.
isn't
He
it?
doesn't give a fuck.
No.
Yeah. God bless people like that.
Yeah.
So-
Professional rugby. What do we think?
Let's talk about some professional rugby, or do you want to go
Professional
back to your
rugby.
butt?
No, I didn't want to talk about it at all. But I knew you were going to ask me.
I was
so
going
I
to
thought I need to give you.
100%.
I knew I need to give you enough of a butt morsel for you to leave me the fuck alone about it. Yeah.
What do you want to talk about first? Because we got a lot here.
I want to talk about the squads that we now. I think we know all of the Six Nations squads announcements now.
Yes,
So we talked about Wales last time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about, in no particular order, let's talk about Ireland next, 'cause I think we're probably more familiar with the Irish side, both of us.
With the Irish side,
The Irish lads.
the old Irish lads.
There's a lot of young guys in here. Don't know about old.
It's the team's growing. The team is evolving.
I'm looking at this and thinking there's not a weak link on there. And I can't say that for anyone except maybe France. Anyone else except France. Yeah, all of them are good. All of them are good.
Surprising add into the squad for me, Dan
Yeah.
Sheehan.
Yeah, he's coming straight back.
Like if he's gonna play, this is the first time he's played rugby since, was it the South Africa in
Yeah, was it the first?
in the tour?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
I think, and he broke his leg. It wasn't like an insignificant injury. He broke his leg. So throwing him straight back in there. I've seen them do this with Faletau in Wales. It works because he's a fucking legend, and Dan Sheehan has already established himself as a fucking legend. So I think he'll be all right.
He's got. I don't even. I just. It was kind of weird to see him. Like he must be showing a lot of promise at practice.
Yeah, they don't just put people in as soon as they're fit. Like he's gone through several drills, and you know, there's probably 10 guys analyzing everything he does to go, he's ready, right? Yeah, he's looked
Because I
after.
think, let me look at this here. They got Gus McCarthy on there.
Yeah,
They got Rob Herring
yeah. With Kelleher,
and Kelleher's on there. So they got 4 hookers in this squad.
they have got some deep hookers.
Like why do you got so many hookers?
Because Dan Sheehan has to be back because he's
He
the
just
best.
has to be
Well,
there.
yeah, he is. I mean, like I would joke it, but he is the best hooker, isn't he? Like I'm close to saying in the world. I'm very close to saying the best hooker in the world. So, yeah, you got to have him in.
My thing, Ian Henderson being in the squad, I just
Oh, I know.
fucking
We're not
hate
fans,
Ian
are we?
Henderson.
We're not fans, are we?
I'm not a fan of Ian
That is
Henderson.
maybe the weak link for me,
and
actually.
a lot of people argue with me that he's good.
Yeah.
I just he's not in there, and Tom Ahern from Munster is not in the squad,
Mm.
and that pissed me off. It's like Tom Ahern's been fucking ripping it up.
And as we know, they've only got about 2 places for non-Leinster players. So to pick Ian Henderson, And it's Ian Henderson and Tyke Burton. They're your choices now, right?
Who's the Ulster number 8? Tamouni. What's his first name? Nick Tamouni.
I think so. Yeah, Nick Tamouni.
Is that his?
I think so.
Every time Ulster play,
Yeah. He has a good
there's
game.
always one consistent thing: is he has a good game.
He does have a good game.
Like this guy is fucking. He had a fucking awesome try on the weekend too.
If he was playing right now, he'd be having a good game. That's
He'd
what
be
I'm
having a
saying.
good game,
Right
and he
now.
just
Yeah.
cannot make this squad.
No.
Ireland fucking hates him.
Yeah, I've always got a bit of a hard on for John Cooney. I always feel the same. Like the amount of the amount of games he didn't get for Ireland always upsets me because that guy was just never not good for Ulster.
Like what's Andy Farrell used to be looking at when they're watching an Ulster game and Ian Henderson's just being all tired and non-effective, and then Tamouni's just ripping it up. And like, yeah, we should take Henderson. Like, we really need something like that. Like, Henderson, Tom O'Hearn, he got robbed. I think he's one of him and Tamouni are the biggest robberies in this squad.
I want to double check, but Gavin Coombs is not injured. I don't think.
No, I don't think he's injured
I don't
either.
think he is
And
because
he's
I'm
another
always sad he doesn't make an Ireland team. I really like Gavin Coombs. I understand Simon Easterby. This is the more important. This is the big story with Ireland. I think is how Simon Easterby going to do because you can argue about selection with Ireland, but it's one of those teams where it's like it's still a pretty fucking good team whoever you put out, isn't it? Right. So I think it's more about what Simon Easterby's going to do with the team. Is he basically just going to keep the shit steady? Because we've seen this before actually when Gatlin went to do the Lions tour. Coach, he put Rob Howley in charge, and Rob Howley didn't do a lot different. So I don't think Simon Easterby is going to change much.
I don't think either. I'm pretty sure Andy Farrell and him are on the same page about a lot of things.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially when you see the squad.
Yeah.
They brought 4
training panelists.
No, they brought 4. What is it? Callan Blade, Gibson Park, Connor Murray.
Oh, you're talking about nines? Because that Munster lad's on there.
Yeah, Callan Blade, Kieran. No, that's not Kieran Frawley. Is Craig Casey not in this team?
I thought I saw his name
injured.
on there. Oh, no, I don't see his name on there. Oh, I thought, yeah. Oh, yeah. Craig Casey is who I was thinking of.
He's definitely injured then.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be surprising. Okay. I actually didn't notice that. I thought he was in there. I thought I read his name.
Just a second here. Okay, there we go. Wrong plug in there.
Okay. So, no Craig Casey.
No Craig Casey.
Any other omissions you're sad about?
Joey Carberry in Bordeaux.
You're not sad about that. You should.
He's tearing it up over there too.
Yeah, he is. He's a good player. He's just injured all the time. People always talk about him like he was shit. He wasn't shit. He was good. He was just injured.
I think right now too, like his experience would have been good on this team. Johnny Sexton's part of the coaching.
No way.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
No, yeah, he's in there. He's there, just fucking giving his pointers,
doing the financials, doing some banking behind the scenes.
Yeah, he's pointing his finger. He's yelling at the guys. He's part of the crew there.
Yeah, oh, fair dues. I'm excited as well for Cormac Izachukwu. He's been having a good time. Other than that though, like it's one of the, there's not as much like opportunity to mine drama for us here really. It's nothing too dramatic there, is it? It's kind of what we expect. We could talk about Irish 10s for an hour again if you want, but I don't want to. You could just say Sam Prendergast is good and I could disagree with you for a laugh.
I agree with you too that there's did you say that you didn't see a lot of weak links?
Yes. It's pretty strong.
The Ireland squad and the French squad, I'm going to say these are the two teams that have the most established squads.
Yes. Yeah.
Like these are the two teams in my eyes where like the players really picked themselves.
Unless it's Scotland's back line, but yeah, I agree. There's not really a lot of room for
it's like the whole, like for me, like when I'm looking at France and I'm looking at Ireland, they're the two teams in my eyes. Like these players, like you just can't pick any other player.
No. If everyone's fit for Ireland, I could, with almost 100% certainty, write down 15 players and I know that's who they're going to pick on a game day. You know? Like,
the big question is, who is Easterby going to pick for 10?
Fuck off. Nobody cares. Actually, a lot of people care.
A lot of people care.
I'm sick of talking about it. It's going to be Jack Crowley. Obviously.
After Crowley's play
Yeah.
over the weekend, I agree with you.
Jack Crowley's a really good rugby player.
Yes, no one said he wasn't.
And Prendergast wasn't the best against Bath.
He wasn't the best
He
against
wasn't the
La
guy-
Rochelle either.
No, he wasn't.
Looked a little scared.
He's not. Crowley is a harder guy.
He's got skills though. Like Prendergast can read the field. He's got skills.
He
he's
has
he's
skills.
a smooth operator.
I'm never going to say he's a bad rugby player.
He brings a flair that Ireland doesn't have to their attack that I really like.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Easterby could easily pick Sam Prendergast, and I think I bet you if you go down the board, like a lot of pundits,
Yeah.
like people just commentary on rugby, I bet you anything it's down the board between Crowley and Prendergast.
I would say like 80-20 in Crowley's favor.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Do you want to bet? Do you want to do a financial bet?
Well, I don't know.
No, but that's why we would bet.
I don't have a really side. I could see him going either way.
Oh.
I don't.
Well, you can't bet on a maybe.
If I had to go with my gut feeling, if I had to choose,
Yeah.
personally,
There you go.
I would choose Crowley.
Oh, that's no fun.
But I can see him picking Prendergast.
You're
Just
saying
like-
it's going to be close. I'm saying it's not going to be close, but we'll never be able to verify that.
Yeah.
So we can't have a fun bet.
Whoever loses has to get surgery on their butt.
We can't lose. A, we can't lose this bet, and B, I haven't got enough ass cheek left for them to take a chunk out of. So it's a non-starter, I'm afraid.
The Scotland squad. The saddest thing.
We go Scotland. Let's talk Scotland.
Let's talk Scotland.
This is heartbreaking. My fucking Bonnie Wee heart is Bonnie Wee broken.
Sione Tuipulotu.
Not playing any Six Nations.
He's fucked.
He was so good as well in the last few games in the
He tore his
Champions Cup.
pack.
He was so fucking good.
I wonder what the timeline for a torn pec is to get back in the game.
I was just reading right now that he's hoping to be fit for the Lions tour if he gets picked.
Oh my
And
god! He's gonna get picked for
100%
sure.
he's getting picked. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, he's getting picked.
He could tear both pecs.
Yeah, he could have no
he
pecs.
can get breast implants.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still pick him.
He could just come on with only his rib cage exposed, and they'd be like, "Get on there, you rascal!" Yeah, he's class. I feel so genuinely though. Him not playing, I would have had an outside bet on Scotland winning the Six Nations if he plays and starts. Right, they can beat
too.
anyone with him in that team,
Me too.
and they're still a good team without him. But
Not a grand slam, but a
Yeah.
win.
he's as big a deal as losing Dupont if you're French. Genuinely.
He's become that kind of player.
He has almost, not overnight, but a lot quicker than
this
other
year,
folks
like
rise to fame.
this season.
This last calendar year,
Yeah.
he's become the best center in the world.
I said
He's become the
earlier,
best center in the world.
He's the main character of the UFC.
He is.
URC. Fuck.
He could be that if he wanted to be.
He could.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah. I'm genuinely upset about this because it feels like the competition is cheapened without him. This was his fucking moment.
This was his moment.
You know when they go Avengers Assemble and all the cool guys show up? It's like you don't have Captain America in the front row anymore.
or the Iron Man.
Or the Iron Man.
Yeah.
He's not there. It's fucking sad.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know. And Finn Russell is good, but it feels like Tuipulotu's like, yeah, like you said, he's Scotland's main character right now. You know?
Fergus Burke from
Fergus
Saracens.
Burke.
Fergus Burke
Yeah.
chose Scotland.
Yeah, it came via New Zealand and England, weirdly. Yeah.
Like he has a grandparent or something like that.
Yeah. Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we
But
all?
that's a big boost for their squad.
Yeah, and I was just going to follow on from that, saying like Finn Russell, he's getting on a bit. He's still class, but I was thinking about Scottish 10 depth, and this is actually good news for Scotland because if he kind of fulfills his potential in a Scotland jersey, having some depth at 10 is massive for Scotland. You know?
You know who the loser here is? Ben Healy.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not even in the
Yeah,
squad.
I know he's not that good though. He's not international standard.
But he went to
is a nice
Scotland
thing say.
to like basically ignite his international career,
Yes, he did.
right?
And we all knew he was going to be Finn Russell's backup, not the next Finn Russell, I think. But he's not even Finn Russell's backup, which is kind of sad.
I'm very interested to see how much of an impact Sione Tuipulotu is going to, like his absence.
It's going to be
have.
massive, genuinely. This is the difference between them winning some games and losing some games, for me.
I agree.
He's
with
that
you.
fucking good, you know?
I agree with you.
So yeah, very sad about that.
We need a sad Six Nations song for Scotland.
Yeah, but I still want you to think of a good Six Nations song, a good one, a happy one, and a sad one for Scotland. I don't have a lot to say. I think everyone else kind of picks themselves. Like Scotland's back row is still fucking good. There's not much controversial about the forwards really. There's definitely some older guys in there, but it's kind of the same, innit? But again, Scotland's starting 15, very good. Just not enough depth to be as convincing as Ireland or France, for me.
France.
Time for the France dance.
You got the conjoined Toulouse Bordeaux team here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now this is a squad.
So they picked Slimani from
Leinster. They did.
Yeah,
They
I
did.
already read an article about he's a spy. They only picked him to get his insight on the Leinster players.
I mean, Leinster and Ireland, they play. It's the same fucking team. Like, he's the best spy you could have right now if you're going to spy on Ireland, right? So
They're fucking he's a spy.
he is a spy.
And he's coming in.
Yeah.
Luini Antonio is still on the team too. He's back.
Their forwards are fucking massive. I'm just reading through this list. All of these people are different species big in the forwards.
Yeah, so these two, the Ireland-England game, except that you never know. England does Scotland always steps up for England.
Yeah.
England steps up for Ireland.
That
They've
might
been
be a new thing,
fucking
but
thorn in the Irish.
they give them a
side
game,
there.
don't they? They definitely give them a game. Yeah.
But this France-Ireland game is going to be fucking lightning.
Could you remember this fixture last year? It was a letdown. Because
It was
a massive letdown. Like, France just looked knackered.
Mm-hmm.
I think the difference, some big differences here. Romain Ntamack, but more importantly, Dupont is playing. And France have a couple of injuries, but nothing that makes me think it's going to stop them from still having insane depth and probably winning a Grand Slam.
The thing that goes in Ireland's favor or any other team's favor that plays France is these motherfuckers play a lot of rugby.
They do. Yeah.
Like, I guarantee they're probably going to practice for France and then they're going back to their clubs. They have to fly back that day to go to practice. Like, you guys are at work, motherfuckers. They work the shit out of these guys.
They do. They tan them, don't they?
They play a fuck ton of rugby.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. And you said, last year, they looked knackered.
They did.
They looked fucking tired.
Yeah.
And that's because they play a shit ton of rugby. They're always fucking playing.
They are.
The top 14 goes almost all year long.
Doesn't
Isn't
stop,
it
does it?
1 month off? Or I think it's 1 month.
There's
2 months off.
There's never a top 14 game. Any time in the day, there's a top 14 game being played.
Right now,
probably somewhere out
now.
there is a top 14 game is happening.
There's French rugby being played.
It could go one or two ways though, right? Because on one hand, they could be knackered because they play all the fucking time. On one hand, they could come out and be battle-hardened bastards, right? Where everyone in Ireland is they get wrapped up in cotton wool and put in a Bacta tank after every game, and there's some little people massaging them. These guys are just made of fucking iron, and they don't get the same rest and rotation that some of the Irish guys get. So, having said that, the way Bordeaux and Toulouse have been playing, and Toulon, fucking hell, that's some scary rugby, They are putting 60 points, 80 points on the biggest clubs in England. If they bring that form to the Six Nations, it's going to be a French Grand Slam.
Fuck, France, someone in the Northern Hemisphere, they have to win a fucking World Cup.
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
You talk these teams up.
Yeah.
Look how fucking incredible they are. And they are incredible.
Yeah.
And they'll beat, like Ireland or France can beat New Zealand or the Springboks any day of the week.
They do.
And they do.
They do that.
Right? It's not a scary thing anymore.
No.
For these two teams. And then unless you get to a World Cup.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
I would like to be talking about these teams like they are the best, but there's always that little thing on your shoulders. They haven't won a World Cup. It's yeah.
But this is a new thing, and you got to remember. Okay, take Ireland, right? Last World Cup, they lost a very close quarterfinal against New Zealand. It was a very close game. If you go back to the World Cup before that, 2019, New Zealand hammered them.
Yeah, they got hammered.
Right? France in
1
this
point.
World Cup beat New Zealand in the group stages, and they were impressive. They got knocked out again in a close fucking game.
By 1
So
point.
I know we like to dramatize this, but next World Cup, I think, is the one. Finally, is the one where,
It's in Australia.
and it's going to be England who win it.
No, it'll be Australia that wins it.
Do you know what? I would like that. I
They'll be
would like
this
that.
is the year Northern
Yeah,
Hemisphere
and
takes
Joe
the World
Schmidt
Cup.
with his cheeky little smile.
Yeah, and then Australia, the Wallabies win.
Yeah,
Out of everyone,
yeah.
the Wallabies
Robbie
win.
Valentini lifting the World Cup there. Fuck.
Another Southern Hemisphere, I wouldn't be mad if if Argentina won the World Cup. I'd be pretty pumped.
Oh, I'd move to Argentina. Despite their economic woes, I'd move there.
I'd be like, yeah,
Fuck, let's go. Yeah.
yeah. Those motherfuckers, like, if they won,
Yeah.
I'd be pumped for that.
100%. Yeah.
I might even shed a tear.
Fiji or Argentina, right?
Because if Argentina won the World Cup, all those players would be crying.
Yeah.
I guarantee I'd be tearing
Oh,
up.
me
after.
too.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
fuck.
Like got me right in the blue and white and yellow flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fiji and Argentina, best news ever. Do you remember when Japan were kind of everyone's favorites?
What a fucking disaster.
Now they've just but how? Because like Fiji and Argentina, right? They lose a lot of games, and they're still still the sweethearts of rugby. They're the
I don't
girl
think
next
Japan
door
are
of
even the
rugby.
sweethearts anymore.
They're not. Japan are. Oh, sorry. Who you say?
Japan are not the.
And that's what I'm saying. Japan are not. They've lost that little twinkle. You know. Maybe it's just because they're shit. But
Let's go down to. Let's go and talk about Italy.
Italia. Forza.
So we
Azzurri.
got Rizzoli. We got Arusa.
Fuck's sake. Tagliatelle. Spaghetti.
Tommaso Allen. I don't know the Italian players at all.
Well, let me tell you a little something about Italy, right?
Stephen Varney on the team.
Little Welsh lad, Stephen Varney.
Yeah.
Lewis Liner is injured though, which is a big news.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it's sad, isn't it? Italy scare me now though, so I can't take the piss anymore. Like if you're Scotland or Wales, who need I remind you lost to Italy, both Scotland and Wales lost to Italy last year. I need to repeat that. Now they're scary, and that centre partnership, Ignacio Brex and Manoncello, sounds like a kind of coffee menu, but it's a scary coffee menu. You know?
Yeah, this is the Italians. They're in. I think they're like.
I think we're on the cusp of them being a
Are
real
we?
thing now.
Are we? Is it safe to say they're in the game now?
Yeah, I think so. But this Italy have
We
hurt
only had
me.
1 year.
But they've never done that before. They've never beaten two teams and drew France. They drew 1-2 and drew 1. That's like double whatever they've ever done before.
I just don't want to.
I know because they've hurt us. And we talk shit about them all the time.
Like, yeah, I want to say like they're in the game now.
I think they're serious now. They're serious if you're in the fucking bottom of the pond with Wales and Scotland, you know?
Gatlin has me kind of. He's been gaslighting me a lot.
Oh, he
He's
always
been
does.
talking a lot of shit, and I kind of want to.
Yeah.
I want to believe him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, better not underestimate them.
No, you can underestimate
Not
us.
even Dan Bigger. He's like, yeah, they're fucked.
Yeah, they're fucked. Yeah.
he was
Yeah,
literally
so, yeah.
he was literally on the
He
rugby
reluctantly
pod this week, and he was like, yeah, they're fucked.
I know. And he reluctantly said, oh, I have to back Wales. They're going to be fifth. And it was like,
I have to
don't
give them
begrudgingly back us.
something. I have to give them something.
Fuck. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Italy. Yeah, I wouldn't sleep. Don't sleep on them.
Don't sleep on them. But
I want to be able to like be excited when Italy plays a team
don't sleep on them, but don't
Yeah.
have a lie-in on them.
because he literally
know?
they like in
Snooze your alarm on
in
them.
Canada.
Yeah.
Like, the games are on early in the morning. Like they start at 7 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning. So
Yeah.
you can literally sleep on Italy. Like, oh, they're playing. Fuck
I've
it.
done that in
Yeah,
Canada.
I'm not gonna. I
I've
know
done
you
that.
have. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting up for that.
And even back home, I got so pissed on a Sunday that I fell asleep for the Italy game in my chair after about 5 cans. So it's happened in both continents. I've slept on them.
Do you want to talk about the England squad?
Yes, I do.
England.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
What about the England squad is exciting for you?
Maritoje as the captain is fun.
What do you think about that?
I think it's good. Yeah, it's good. I want to say something, but I've heard a bunch of other people say it, so I'm not trying to make out it's like my point or anything. England they don't seem to have like a lot of experienced leaders now. So you're missing Dan Cole and Joe Marler, and regardless of their age profile. What they brought a lot of was experience, right? Like rallying the troops on the field. Jamie George being injured for a little bit at the start is you're missing another really important injury, another leader. Ellis Genge, I think, is that guy. I think they named him as the vice captain, and that's a good choice. Like he's a good experienced player. But other than that, like a lot of their forwards are a bit younger, or they don't seem to have that like vocal leadership quality.
In the forward pack, because I heard the same thing too.
Yeah.
The forward pack, maybe a little bit like Maro Toji's been around for a while now.
Yeah, but he's still really good.
Ellis Genge has been around for a while now.
Yeah, he has.
Right? Even
The Curry boys.
the Curry boys.
Yeah.
Jamie George. I feel like they don't have. I don't think that's an issue.
Is he gonna cry?
No, I'm just fucking got choking on something.
I guess the thing with England is people forget they're still rebuilding because everyone just looks at them and goes, "Oh, you should have a bunch of experienced guys." They're kind of in a similar spot to Wales. Not as bad, but they definitely have brought in a lot of new young guys recently. I'm really excited. There's some exciting guys in there. There's also really excited to see Theo Dan at hooker. Really excited to see Ben Earls play because he's fucking mental. This guy Asher Opoku for Jua
The guy I picked on my team of the year.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to see him.
Tom Willis.
Tom Willis. There's some guys who I'm a bit like meh about, like Bevan Rod. I'm a bit like, come on. Yeah.
Is fucking Don Brandt in this team?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
I don't see him here.
Oh, I read that he was selected. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think he's on the team.
Oh.
I think Borthwick might have made a good he's probably injured.
Hang on, right on the thing I'm reading. In the pack, Alex Donbrandt and Alex Coles have been forced to pull out with injury.
Oh, thank God. Fuck Don Brandt. Like, I don't know what Borthwick is with making Don Brandt work. Like, how many chances does this guy get at test level? And
Okay.
it's unproven.
But except for Ben Earl, who do you pick at 8?
Tom Willis.
Except for Tom Willis and Ben Earl, who do you pick at 8?
Jack Willis.
One of the Curry boys.
Yeah, I'd probably put Curry in there.
Yeah, could do.
Underhill's got to be injured too.
I think, yeah, Underhill is injured, yeah. Because he wasn't playing for Bath on the weekend.
You know who reminds me of? He wasn't even originally in the squad, which I thought was crazy. You know this Henry Pollock kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't even originally picked. He's injury cover. They picked him after.
Yeah, he's really good though.
He's like fucking. He reminds me of when Underhill first came on the scene,
And he was just tackling everything.
yeah. And I fear that Henry Pollock's career is gonna go like, because you know how Underhill is always injured now.
Yeah.
Because of how hard he played, and he was like a fucking animal.
He was.
Like he just
And
a
is.
psycho.
Yeah.
Like,
Tackle machine.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Henry Pollock plays on the edge. Like he
Yeah, he does. He's
puts
a
his body on the
physical
line
boy.
on everything he does.
Yeah.
I fear for this kid's life. He's only 20 years old.
Yeah. Do you know what I always think about England as well is, especially with their flankers, like you look at basically every other tier 1 country, their back rows, every country has a really good back row. Like it's a flank is a fun position to play. You don't need to be super big or super small. Like you've got a lot of range to work with and you can be all over the field. Except England, who only seem to pick big tackly flankers, right? Every other country has a wiry, turnovery, fast flanker and a big, hard bastard flanker, and that's the balance, right?
I think this is where like
Which
Tom Willis and
Ben Earl,
right? These guys are starting to break that mold.
Exactly, but there's
Because you had your James Haskell, who was perfect, like the perfect example of what you were just talking about.
Yes,
Just a brute.
And they've
Yeah.
still got, like, honestly, I see both the Curry guys like that, to be honest. But yeah, you're right. But the weird thing for me is Ben Earl plays 8 a lot, or has played 8 a lot for England, and he seems like he's the fastest flanker that they've got. It just my point is England's back row balance has always been fucked, and they don't even now seem to have the ingredients or the know-how to get it together. And it's such an important part of the field, you know?
They really like move these guys around.
They do.
They move the locks. They just move those what was it, the back 5?
Yeah.
They move those guys around.
They do.
A lot.
They do. And like, so one guy can't even
They
get a
treat
game in
every
the same
player
bloody
like-
position.
They treat every player like, you know, Tygburn, like he's always like not Tygburn,
Yeah, you're right. Tygburn.
Tygburn, yeah.
Yeah, he plays lock or flank, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I was
you're
talking
right.
about Furlong.
Yeah,
Furlong. You know how he moves in from like lock to flank.
Yeah, but it like he's
But
done
they
it.
treat all their
They do
Lucy's like that.
Like
Yeah.
it's like all of them are utility back rowers,
Yeah.
right? Pick the same guy in the same fucking position. Get some consistency. 'Cause you've got enough big hard bastards in there. Put Ben Earl at 7. Have a good time. Profit. You know?
You just fixed it. You just fixed.
I
England's
fixed it.
problem.
Easy.
Another drama thing was Ben Spencer wasn't originally in the squad either,
Yeah.
and then he had to come in.
Yeah.
George Ford is there.
George Ford is there. He
George
is there.
Ford
There he is. I'm
is
looking
in-
at his name.
Yeah, George Ford has made the squad. Elliot Daly is in the squad. Now, I hate on
This-
Elliot Daly a
you
lot.
do. You do.
I hate
It's
on
fun
him a lot
to hate on him.
he's been on. You know, why isn't he captain? He's been on the squad since like fucking what 1994.
Yeah.
And like he's been playing really good this year.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been playing really.
We
fucking
take the
good.
piss out of him. He's a really good rugby player,
He is.
but he's such a Swiss Army knife, isn't he? And people always just talk about him because he can kick really far, right? It's like you don't pick a guy there because he can kick really
And
far.
I think this weekend he slotted
He did.
a long one.
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
He loves a long boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like
You're right, though. There's a bunch of guys in there who are older and just don't seem to have like that leadership spark, right? They're not yelling at people. They're not doing the post-match interviews as much. It doesn't feel like they've got as many on-field leaders.
when I see like George Ford
Yeah.
there, I was like, what is he bringing to the table? Like he's just like
Yeah, I don't know.
he doesn't bring. You can't like his style of 10
Yeah.
is on the way out.
Not only that, I think it's just a Steve Borthwick thing, right? Because you've got Marcus Smith and Finn Smith, similar players. They're
Marcus Smith.
exciting. What did I say?
Finn Smith.
I said both of them.
Oh wait, did you?
Yeah, I want to mention both of them.
Oh yeah.
So they've got both of those guys, similar style of play, attacking close to the line, etc. And it feels very Steve Borthwick of me to go, no, we have to have a 10 who does the other thing, you know, backseat general, slotting drop goals. And it's like, no, you fucking don't. Just have good 10s. Not that George Ford is a bad 10, but you are right. His style is going out. And they fucking booed him when he came on in the autumn games.
Which I thought was pretty
It
disrespectful.
was horrible.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
The guy, even though I don't think he's a bad rugby player.
Yeah.
I just think the style of rugby that he's suited for
Yeah.
is just not
No, it's not the flavor of the
beneficial
month,
for
is it?
this for this day and age. Anymore.
I agree. Like,
Right?
this is not 2003. You're not going to win the game with 3 drop goals, you know?
Yeah,
You've got to score some tries now, right, to win a game of the Six Nations. I don't know what my point is, except that I can't see George Ford getting much game time unless Steve Borthwick
I
is
could see it.
coaching,
I
which
could
he
see it.
is. So yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah,
I
never
could see it
mind.
100%.
I take it back. He will. Yeah,
Dan Cole's not in the squad.
yeah, that's what I said. Joe Marler
His,
and Dan Cole.
Joe Mara retired,
Yeah.
and Dan Cole was just not selected.
Oh, really? I thought he
Yeah,
retired.
he just wasn't. No, he was just straight not selected.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, you know what though?
Mm.
For a comeback kid,
Yeah.
that was a great comeback. He had a good renaissance there. Like
He had a long renaissance.
yeah, but he was I think after the 2019 World Cup,
Yeah.
he was playing. He played in that game. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
After that, he was out of the squad until Borthwick came back.
Yeah, he was, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
he was kind of just thrown off to the side
Yeah.
like an old towel. And
Yeah.
Borthwick came in. He's like, "Hey, I
Yeah.
want you in the squad," and he brought him out. And he
Yeah.
Dan Cole's still good.
Yeah, he's good.
I don't know how much longer he's gonna play for, but he is the English Keane Healy. Like those two will fucking never die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was Alan Wynne-Jones sitting on the most caps ever, I would be worried about Dan Cole. He's like, that fucker's coming. Keane Healy's coming. Like, they're not dying. They're not slowing down. Isn't England fun to talk about? I think it's because, right, if you put a jigsaw in front of me and there's 4 pieces missing, and I go, there's your 4 pieces, jigsaw done. That feels like France and Ireland to me, right? England is like a child has attempted a jigsaw, and it's like, oh, I can see the potential to find some corner pieces and show a child how to do a jigsaw. There's lots of fun pieces to put in place. Like, it's fun to imagine what kind of squad they would have because they've got a lot of talent, but no clue how to use it. That was a bad analogy, but you know what I mean?
My biggest it's exactly what you said.
Good.
They have
I thought you weren't
they have
listening.
all the pieces of the puzzle. They have all the players that they need. They just don't have the knowledge to how to use these guys effectively.
There's a drunk child trying to smash two corner pieces together, and we
Also,
know
I
that's
think
not working.
England's my issue with England, like forever,
Yeah,
and it hasn't changed. Is I feel like they're a mentally weak team.
they are.
If things start not going their way,
They fade.
they kind of like just they get flustered so easily. You
They
can get
do.
under their skin.
Yeah,
Like as soon as they are on the back foot,
yeah,
it's really rare for them to like dig themselves out.
yeah, yeah.
And you have seen it. They have done it. Like when they played New Zealand a few years ago, where they were down and they scored like 20 points in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
George Ford was part of that.
yeah, he was.
But I feel like when things aren't going their way, they just like they get flustered and they get frustrated and then they start making more and their mistakes just pile on. They just can't dig themselves out of holes.
No, they can't. Yeah, I agree. It's like they've got the belief, not the belief, the expectation to win that Ireland and New Zealand have, right? Everyone's like, look at what you've got, you greedy bastards. Win a fucking game of rugby. And Ireland and France do that. They're like, fuck yeah, we want that pressure.
No.
England have got all this money and talent, and all their fans in the media are like, look at what you've got. Win a fucking game of rugby. Oh, God, can't do it. Oh, it's 10 minutes left. Shit the bed.
They're like the epitome of the rich kid on the playground. He's like taking all the kids' stuff and he's cackling. He's like, yeah. And then some other like kid that's bigger just
a year
takes,
above him.
yeah, just takes the ball from him
Yeah.
and then he just like has a fucking fit and just
Yeah.
loses it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's my like take on them. Like I feel like you can mentally beat this team.
You can.
I don't think you can physically beat this team.
Mm.
I think you can mentally beat them
Well, as
because
a
they will pony up with any team. Like look what happened at that World Cup game in 2023 against the Springboks.
yeah,
They were bullying. They were bullying.
they
them.
were
They were
dominant
bullying
when
the Springboks.
they were yeah,
just all over them.
yeah.
And then as soon as things start not going their way, not getting the bounce of the ball,
Yeah.
it just piles and piles up on these motherfuckers.
You can tell when you watch them play, right? Because they're the team who are the worst for. If the other team knock it on, they'll all cheer. Right?
Yeah.
The other team make a mistake, they'll all cheer, and then they're not
Like
paying
that kid,
attention.
He's like, yeah.
Look what happened. And then, while you're not paying attention, they've sorted their shit out and scored a try. I remember talking about this with you on our podcast a while ago. They did exactly that. They were all cheering and shouting about a mistake the other team made, forgot to pay attention and lost the fucking game. They just, they get, what you said.
I'm also interested to see because I've been hard on Freddie Stewart.
Yeah.
I haven't rated him really high, and he's been playing like he's been the best fullback in the Prem all year. So I'm excited to see how he's gonna like get back because when he plays in an English shirt, he kind of disappears.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He's always good to the high ball, but it's kind of a cliche to say that. He just doesn't show the attack. I do wonder a bit, is he just a really good club player? Like, there's just not the space on an international field for him to do what he does at club level.
maybe, but he's been playing exceptionally good.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what he can do.
Well, I'm hearing a lot of talk that Freddie Stewart will go to the wing and Marcus Smith will go to fullback, which is hilarious and exactly how
And then
England
who
lose a
would
game
play
of
10?
rugby.
Finn Smith?
Finn Smith or George Ford. See, they've got the pieces of the puzzle. They just put them in the wrong fucking places again.
I would not put Marcus Smith. at
No, but I
fullback.
think Borthwick might, because he's like, Marcus Smith has to be on the field. Let's play him out of position. Eddie Jones started this, and Steve Borthwick's just continuing it. Let these fucking guys play in the position they like playing in. Anyway, that's enough about England.
And that's the squads. Do you want to know some interesting factoids?
Okay.
Which coach has the most Six Nations titles?
You told me before, and I forgot. Gatland?
No.
Oh.
It
Don't know.
is Bernard Laporte.
Oh,
France or
from
Laporte?
France. I'm surprised by
France.
that. Yeah.
Four. He won it 4 times. 2002, 2004, 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
Holy. That must have been French. Wow.
Yeah.
You know who's second?
Rob Howley.
No, Warren
Oh.
Gatlin.
Oh, that makes sense.
Warren Gatlin.
But you're not surprised by that, are you?
You know how many he has? 3. The most.
Three Grand Slams and 1 championship, right?
Nope.
You only talking about Grand Slams?
I'm only talking about wins.
Yeah, because you can win without getting a Grand Slam.
Yes.
And he has done that.
So he's got 3. In total,
Yeah.
Warren Gatlin has won the Six Nations 3 times.
Oh, no, that makes sense. I know what you're talking about. 2008,
yeah, but just
2012. Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
after that, another person with 3, Sir Clive Woodward.
Woodward. Ward.
Joe Schmidt with
Yeah.
3,
That makes sense.
and Eddie Jones
Eddie Jones.
with 3.
He gets so much hate. People forget he did win a lot with England. Then he stopped, and then he got fired. But he was pretty good at the start, wasn't he?
And then the next after that, so it's 4, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Yeah.
The next one is 2.
Rob Howley.
No,
Fuck.
Andy Farrell.
With Ireland?
Yeah.
Oh,
2.
yeah. Oh, yeah, obviously, yeah.
And then you got Mike Ruddock.
And then Rob Howley.
No, Rob Howley he's in there with 1. Wayne Pivac.
Yeah.
A lot of whales. In
Yeah,
here.
well, people forget. Like, not that long ago, we used to win stuff often. Now we don't.
Not a single Scotland.
Yeah,
in here.
Graham Henry was a Wales coach.
What I was surprised is some 6 nations.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm looking at this 6 nations list here, it's clearly only going back to when it was the 6 nations.
Yes.
So there's like the 5 nations or whatever the fuck called it back then.
Yeah. It was just called the Five Nations.
Most Grand Slams is Warren Gatland. So Warren Gatland has won the 6 nations
Yeah.
3 times,
Yeah.
3 Grand Slams.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then after that, it's just that Bernard Laporte is with France with 2.
And then Rob Howley.
And then, no, Rob Howley's not even in the list.
Fuck.
Yeah, Andy Farrell with 1. Fabien Galtier.
Yeah.
Eddie Jones with 1.
It feels like you're building something.
I'm not.
Oh. Just
That's
tell me
it.
some,
Surf
just
Life
spitting
with
facts.
1. I'm just spitting facts. I was looking at this list of the most wins.
Yeah, you sound surprised.
I was surprised by that there wasn't more, but then when I was looking at the list and it only goes back to the 6 nations, I was like,
It's fucking hard to win a Grand Slam. Do you know nobody ever has won back-to-back Grand Slams?
yeah, I know, that's fucking crazy.
And ever isn't very long time, right? It's only the early 2000s. So in about 25 years, no one's ever won back-to-back Grand Slams. And I don't think anyone will unless you need either Ireland or France or England to totally shit the bed for that to happen. You need the one of the rock or the paper or the scissors to fucking be awful for a couple of years.
Since I started watching the 6 nations,
Yeah.
I feel like it's not a win unless you get a Grand Slam.
It's empty.
It
It is
is.
empty. Unless you're talking about the 2013.
The worst is when you win it, but you lost the last game.
Oh, we did that under Pivac. The Jam Slam year. We did that under Pivac.
You
Yeah.
lose the last game, but you still win the championship. You just got fucking battered.
Yeah.
And then they bring out the trophy. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this? I thought...
They
'cause
started writing your name in it.
Yeah, because some of the early years I started watching, that happened... I think it happened to England. I can't remember. But they lost the game, but they won the championship, and they bring the trophy
they're in the
out.
away
They're all
stadium.
and I think they were like... They might have been in Ireland or something like that,
Yeah.
too. So they're not even at home.
So they get beaten in Ireland,
and then they fucking have to bring the trophy out.
surrounded by happy fans who've just seen
Yeah.
them beat England.
If you showed an American that, they would be like, what the fuck is this?
I don't care about their perspective on sports needs to
Yeah.
fuck off. They're wrong
They would
anyway.
be, it
This
was
is
just
brilliant.
the strange, especially when I found out like you just win on points. So
Yeah.
like you could just win on points. Everyone just plays each other. I've never heard of anything like that until I started watching rugby. I was
That's
like,
a very
what
North
the
American thing to say.
Yeah,
Because that
I was
happens
like-
in football all
So
the
there's
time,
no
right?
like championship game.
In Premier League football, it'd be the last game of the season, and a team could win the Premier League and lose the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you need about 5 or sometimes you need like 5 or 6 or 7 different games to go one way or the other, and some of them could be draws. Like, it's mental maths.
Is the whole league just won by points?
Yes. the
There's no
Premier League.
championship game?
No, there's no playoffs.
I had no idea
Yeah.
about this.
But there's different competitions within
Oh my
the
God,
league.
One of those guys.
Right, there's the FA Cup, there's the league itself, there's the European Cup. So there's like 3 to 4 different competitions within the league.
But the Premiership soccer.
The league itself, yeah, you don't win.
Premier League
There's
as
no
well, whatever.
playoff games. You just win on
win
points.
it. So a team could potentially win it before like
And
there
that
was, like,
happens.
5
Yeah,
rounds
That
left.
that has happened several times. Yeah,
and
you
they're
could.
already the champions.
Yeah, that has happened.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah, and
I
it's,
had no idea about that.
yeah, and that's why when people from like North Americans are like, "This is crazy," it's like, well, this is our bread and butter, right? This is what we used to. So I kind of like it in a way because if you've played absolute blinder of a season, like you are, imagine Leinster in the URC, right? They have not even come close to losing. They're just they haven't lost a game. Leinster have not lost a game at all in either competition this season. And then imagine Glasgow trip them up in a quarterfinal or something. They'll be, oh, for fuck's sake, you know? Look how many games they lost.
Yeah, that is a little anticlimactic.
Right?
But fuck, that's still weird.
It is weird. I understand that it's like you want a spectacle
Yeah.
at the end.
It kills the spectacle,
It
'cause
do-
especially if a team has already won the championship,
yeah.
and there's other rounds left.
Yeah. You're just playing for pride. I think there's a kind of like depressing British humor to it as well. It's a bit like, haha, those fucking guys. They
That's
won
the
it.
most soccer thing you've told me. Like that's
Yeah, it's what we grew up with. Well, it's the same in rugby, isn't it? Well, no,
no,
it's
you
not.
don't. You gotta
no, it's
win a
not.
championship
It's
game.
the same in the Six Nations, I should say.
Yeah, it's the same in the Six Nations. But
Yeah, there's not enough
not
teams for
enough.
that to happen. Yeah.
fuck, that's fucked up.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, maybe it is fucked up. I don't know. I think it's funny.
So, what do you want to go into now? Adam Jones is in the coaching setup.
He is. Adam Jones is the new Welsh scrum coach, and he's on sabbatical from Harlequins. He's not like forever.
It's just during the Six Nations.
He's doing a work experience for Wales as our scrum coach. Because I read his autobiography. He had a few fallouts with Gatland et al. You know, he didn't
When
leave
did
on the best
he-
terms.
What year did he retire?
Oh, that's a good question. Is it maybe 2018? No, before that.
Definitely not 2018.
No, maybe 2017, 2016, I think. Maybe even earlier. Yeah.
because he,
I remember the final days of his career in Wales, right? He went to Cardiff Blues for a season, and I remember the game. It was a game we were supposed to win. We could have won, and he attempts a fucking drop goal, misses, has a little laugh to himself, and I thought, he doesn't fucking care anymore. He doesn't fucking
he
care.
looks like the guy that would do something like that.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Like he looks like the guy. He shows up. He's got a bucket of chicken in his arm,
yeah.
and he's got a wing or like a drumstick in his hand, and
Yeah.
he's pointing at the players with the drumstick.
Telling him what to do.
Yeah, and then eating it.
And just rubbing the grease on his jersey and then
Yeah.
points at him. Listen, talking to you.
I never take this thing off.
Yeah. I saw him.
My lucky coaching jersey.
It's just covered in chicken grease. And in his autobiography, he eats a lot of fucking chocolate. Just talks about banging chocolate all the time.
Oh, there it is. He's just got a fucking big box of chocolate,
Yeah.
and he's got like chocolate all over his beard and face.
It's like the middle of summer, and he's got one of those Christmas-sized dairy milks. It's like a foot long, and he's just like biting into it.
And then he goes up to the players. He's like, "Let me show you something." And then
Yeah.
he hands this chocolate over to one of the players, and his hands are all covered in chocolate. And he gets down, and he starts grabbing the other guys. Like, you gotta
Yeah.
hold on to him like this. And they're-
Covered him in chocolate.
And all these guys are like, "Oh, what the fuck, man? Like, fucking chocolatey hands all."
Yeah. Do you know, I saw Adam Jones in a supermarket in Merthyr Tydfil, town in South Wales, right? And like, yeah, I know rugby players are bigger in person. We always talk about this, right? He is a fucking bear of a human, though. Like, he's not the tallest guy,
No,
but just every other dimension of him is massive. Like, he just expands in every direction. Because he's got that big fucking head of hair. It's like there's a fucking bear walking around the supermarket, you know? He's just a huge bloke.
so he played for the Harlequins until 2018.
Yeah, but I don't think he was
And
playing for Wales
retired.
then.
His last game for Wales was in 2014. He had 95 caps.
Yeah, he was close to 100. But he was getting pulled off at 30 minutes towards the end. Like, he was getting pulled off in the
Oh,
first
because all
half.
his fucking
Yeah, just covered in chocolate. Like, you're supposed to use Vaseline. He's like, fuck off. I'm covering myself in dairy milk.
What is this? You got fucking like Reese's Pieces?
We don't even have Reese's Pieces. Imagine
that's right,
imagine he
yeah.
discovered those.
Yeah, he'd be fucked.
But yeah, like, I don't know, like, talking about Wales and the coaching, this is the first Six Nations I'm not excited for, genuinely. I'm not excited for the Six Nations this
Yes,
year.
you are. Don't fucking say that.
Okay, I'm excited. But do you know what I mean? I'm not hopeful that Wales are going to do anything for the first time in my life. I'm like, we're going to probably lose every game.
Faletau's back, bud.
He's back. Josh Adams is back. Liam Williams is back.
Liam Williams is back.
Yeah.
He kicked fucking, what's that little twink? What's his name?
He kicks a little twink.
What's his name?
Which twink?
The twink kid.
Who does the twink
He looks
play
like
for?
he's got like he's got like an iron deficiency.
Cam Winnett.
Can't win it. Capuzzo is like actually the same thing too. You were gonna say Capuzzo,
I was gonna
and
say-
he does look like
And
he
I
has
was
an
like,
iron
wait,
deficiency.
Yeah, he didn't replace Capuzzo in the Italian team, but yeah.
And he's a twink too.
How bad do you feel for Cam Winnett? Guy comes in, he's 9 years old, and he plays every game for Wales, and he does a good job, and he gets dropped.
Doesn't he have the most turnovers? Like he's lost the ball the most out of any player in the URC
Oh, I didn't know that.
this year. Yeah,
You've been
he's
on your
not-
stats, haven't you?
Yeah,
You're doing some stat homework. I didn't know that.
yeah. So he's not. I think they're just. I don't think he's big enough for the position.
Tell that to bloody Cheslin Colby or Angie Capuozzo.
Yeah, but Cheslin Kobe,
Well, he's another lad. He's
like
just a freak,
if
isn't
you put him beside Cam Winnett.
One of them has iron in their
He's
blood.
double the size, like
Wider,
width. Yeah.
muscularity-ish. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever that
there's a
word is.
difference. Like he's built the
Muscularly.
body. He's like, okay, I'm not tall enough, but I can't grow high, but I can grow wide. Like he's
And Cheslin Colby has several of those dogs in him,
yeah.
you know?
And Cam Winnett looks sick. Like he looks like, what is he like? It's like if you look at his diet, it's just like ramen noodles. Like that's it.
He has pot noodles
You
every
can
day.
make it in like 2 minutes.
And the nutritionist is like, Cam, you've just done like 300-pound bench press. You need to eat chicken. He's, no, I keep my noodles. Mum says I can have noodles.
just like fucking noodles and macaroni. Like when I look at him, like he's not eating anything but like something that comes in like a box or a bag. Like that's it.
Yeah, he's only a child though.
Yeah.
You know, let him finish his Haribos and see if he puts on a bit of weight. You know, I don't know what else to say about Wales. I'm a bit sad about Wales, so whatever. Although I do want to mention a guy called Sean Lynn, who's just been appointed the head coach of the women's team.
Sean Lynn.
Sean Lynn, and this might be so. Wales appointing Adam Jones is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Lynn being who was the Gloucester Hatbury coach who won the women's premiership in England twice recently. He's a really fucking good coach.
Mm-hmm.
So Wales, in the space of a week, have done two good things. The WRDO has done two good things. So either that means we're back on track, or we've used up all our good things for the year and we're going to get a wooden spoon and everyone's going to be injured and we're going to have a shit rest of the year. So one of those two things could be true.
Oh, look at this too. I'm just reading it. I just Googled Wales news.
Okay.
See if there's anything exciting. Wales convinced Giant Lock to switch allegiances from England. An exciting coup.
It's pronounced coup.
Luke Evans from Exeter Chiefs.
Mm.
Do you know who he is?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's young, though.
He's a young boy.
Yeah. I mean, Exeter's academy is just a bunch of Welsh guys. So all you got to do is be like, hey, Wales might be good sometime. And they'll be like, oh, okay, I'll give it a go.
It's a good,
Didn't work with Faye Waboso.
who's Faye Waboso? We got Luke Evans.
We got Luke Evans. Yeah.
Did you hear? So you listened to the rugby pod this week, obviously, because you.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You know when they were talking with Henry Pollock,
Yes.
and he was talking about his Scottish parents
Oh, yeah.
and how he picked England.
Yeah.
Yeah, that grinded my gears a little bit. It's like if I had a son
Yeah.
and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play for America,"
Oh,
I would have been like,
it is like that. Now you know how I feel about Faye Waboso. Because he's not. He is Welsh as fuck. Listen to him. He's born and sounds like a Cardiff guy. You know? He's not like a bit of... I mean, I think his parentage is English or something. But like, he's Welsh as fuck.
when he told me that when I heard that Henry Pollock was like both his parents are proper Scottish,
Yeah.
and he grew up watching Scotland,
Yeah.
and then he chose to play for England.
Yeah.
I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. It hurts, doesn't it?
I can
It
see
hurts.
like he grew up in England. He's
Yeah.
born in England. His friends are English. He played all his rugby friends. His influences are English.
I understand that.
So I can see how that happened. But fuck, I could just see myself as a parent being like, fuck.
You piece of shit.
Yeah.
And like,
Get to me.
you using an example of America is relevant because America are the England of North America, aren't they? They're
Yeah.
the big, powerful baddies.
Mm-hmm.
And we love to hate them, and they love to be hated, and everyone's fine with that relationship. But when they steal from the poor little people,
Yeah.
it hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
So
does.
you already have loads of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Just put your jigsaw together good, and stop stealing our good. Because okay, I'm gonna tell you another little story. Right? Do you know who Kepu Tuipulotu is? If you don't, it's fine because there's a lot of Tuipulotus, right? So there's another Tuipulotu. His sister plays prop for Wales, and she's one of our best players, right? She's born in Wales. Kepu Tuipulotu is also born in Wales. He went through the English academy system early-ish, like I think he's in his late teens, right? But he is still, as far as I'm concerned, a Welsh guy. But, counterpoint, like you said, gone through the English system by now, captained England U18s. I understand, even though his sister is playing for Wales, he's chosen to play for England, at least at the age grade level. It hurts, but I get it, right? But there's a few other guys, even in the Exeter Academy. And what the English are doing now is if you go to one of their academies, Gloucester, Exeter, the southwest of England, they make you sign a thing that say if you join our academy, you have to say you're playing for England at age grade level.
Oh,
And they're doing that.
making that decision.
Yeah, because we don't have those facilities in Wales, right?
That's too young to be like putting that kind of pressure on someone's future.
It's like when
Especially
someone
you're gonna get locked in.
Yeah, it's like when someone criticizes kids who can't pay back their student loan. It's like someone gave me a student loan when I was 17. They gave me thousands of pounds, and they're like, "Oh, you got to pay back 30 grand." I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't know this was real money. The fuck was I signing? You know, obviously I'm joking, and I should fucking pay my money back. But you don't know. You're right. Who the fuck knows what they're doing at that age?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, hey, sign this, and you're English. Okay, we'll give you a jersey and a hat and a car. Okay. Like, and then 10 years later, you stood there singing "God Save the Fucking King."
You just make like bad decisions all the time.
Yeah.
I made like when I was like 18.
Yeah.
Every decision I made was bad.
I'm surprised I didn't die.
I got a credit card right when I was 18.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
I fucking racked that thing up in
Yeah.
like a week.
Yeah.
And then it took me years to pay
Yeah.
it off.
And then years later, you're like, fuck, that was real money?
I got people like calling me. They're like, "Give us some money."
Yeah. We're going to break your teeth. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So,
these collectors
yeah.
calling me, and I was just a young kid. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to jail."
Yeah, right. Anyway, I'm not being bitter. I understand what they're doing. If we're going to invest in you, we want to see an outcome. It's a business, right? But it's like we don't have that in Wales. So when I see the Irish setup and they've got all these private schools around Dublin just mass producing unlimited talent, and we're sat there like, once in a blue moon, some little boy will emerge from a pile of coal dust and he's quite good. And then England, like, sign this, mate, you're English now. Oh, bye, guys. Bye, friends. We have Cam Winnett, who's dying of a wasting disease behind him. Like, that's the guy we kept, you know? Who I like. I like Cam Winnett a lot, but
Also, money talks.
that's what I'm saying.
Money talks.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm Canadian till I die.
Yeah.
But if the Americans come calling, like, yeah, we'll pay you like $50 million to
Yeah.
pay for us.
Yeah.
I'd be fucking Star
Oh,
Spangled.
see, can you see? Yeah.
Howdy, folks. Can I have my
Yeah.
rare cooked burger, please? Like, I'd be fucking all in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I love Reba McEntire. Like, I would be fucking all about that shit. I was
Yeah,
like, whoa,
yeah.
$50 million.
Why is Steve drinking raw
Yeah.
milk? What the fuck's wrong with him?
I was born in Maine. Like, you know, it's like I would be
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
straight up American as fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
I get it. I like that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to pop at England. I do that often enough. It's funny. In this situation, it's a financial thing. I get it. But in Wales, we just can't compete, right? We're already scraping what talent we have together, and they're picking off the best ones because they got money, right?
yeah, because when you're like a young rugby player and you're playing, like, and you are like you're Welsh qualified,
Yeah,
and you're looking at all your buddies in England,
Yeah.
and they're playing with all the nicest toys.
yeah, yeah.
And you look at the Welsh kids, and like,
Yeah.
we found comics in the ravine. Like, you know, you're
They
like,
found
yeah.
a porno in a hedge.
You're like, look at us. You're like,
Yeah, yeah. These guys are offering me a car and a lot of money. Like,
we're gonna play kick the can. Like, you know, it's like, fuck.
yeah.
No, fucking
Yeah,
thank
so
you.
whatever, they're young, I get it. But this segues nicely into the last thing I want to talk about, which is watching Champions Cup this weekend.
Let's talk about the Champions Cup.
All right,
Let's talk
let's
about
do
the
it the same
Champions Cup.
fucking. You are right. You are right. You're right.
Let's do a little bit of this is gonna be a long pod.
Okay.
We're going on the long one, but I want to talk about this too. Let's
I got
script-
time, mate. I got time.
I got time too. Do
All right.
the listeners have time?
I don't. Do we have listeners?
Do the listener
Does the listener
does
have
the listener have time?
Well, if you're the listener, can you email us if we're going over your time?
Thank you.
Because we're hungry to talk.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk about the Champions Cup. Let's just wrap this up this weekend.
All right.
Holy fuck.
Some champions happened.
Some champions happened.
Okay, first thing I want to say, Northampton beating Munster. I'm a bit sad for Munster, but I'm a bit happy for Northampton.
Henry Pollock, he came in at the end. He shut that game down
Yeah,
at the
he
end.
fucking did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Motherfucker, I was pissed
And
at
then
that.
he's like, and I'm English now.
yeah, and I'm English.
Fuck you,
That's what he
Ireland.
did.
Fuck
He
you,
was like,
Scotland.
yeah, God save the king. Like, right in fucking Ty Burns' face.
Yeah,
I was,
yeah. But Munster, they've got that Championship Cup dog in them, and I thought Northampton had kind of shit the bed overall, but there they are.
The main thing, like, there were some ass beatings.
That's what I want to get to.
There were some ass beatings.
That's
this
what I want to
weekend.
get to. Yeah.
And it's raised a lot of concerns. I think the biggest thing from the weekend, the most genuine thing that happened this weekend,
Yeah.
Benetton beating La Rochelle.
That's a big deal.
That was a big deal.
It's a big
La
fucking
Rochelle came with pretty much almost the same squad as they played Leinster with,
Yes.
and they lost.
Yes.
Like Benetton were just like
By a full 7 or 8 points.
7 points.
7 points.
32-25.
Yeah.
That was a big win.
Yes, it is a big win.
Yeah.
Like you got to remember, Benetton is basically the Italian team, but the Italian team isn't as good as La Rochelle on their day. Actually, La Rochelle are much better,
They
right?
should be.
They should be, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big fucking win. And like, are Benetton good? Are Italy good? They better fucking back up some of these wins now.
The biggest letdown too the weekend
Yeah.
was Glasgow to me.
Oh,
Losing to Harlequins.
why did the English clubs decide this was their weekend? Because they were fucking shit in the bed, and a few of them still are, but like, yeah, Harlequins knocking out Glasgow. That was, well, it was revenge because Glasgow did that to Harlequins last year.
Yeah.
But that was a bit of a beating, 24-7.
But like Ulster put a beating on Exeter.
Yeah, everyone does that.
I guess so now. I
Yeah.
guess.
And Ulster will do this thing where they just kind of fucking yo-yo in their quality as well throughout the season in every
And
competition.
then it's like Saracens lost, like their top squad lost to like a B cast team. That was fucking great.
Yeah, yeah.
But Toulouse and Bordeaux.
Okay, this is what I really want to talk about, okay?
Yeah. You go on. You say what you need to say.
I'm going to go off king. Can I refer to myself as a king? No. Bordeaux 66, Sharks 12. This was not a bad Sharks team. Penno scored
6 tries.
6 tries.
There was 10 tries. They scored 10 tries the whole game. No, that was
No, we're thinking about Toulouse, aren't we?
no. That was
10 tries in the Toulouse game, right?
No, I got it right here. There was fucking 1, 2, 6, 7, 8,
There was 10.
9, 10.
Did they miss some? No, that makes sense actually
Yeah.
mathematically. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
I was just getting my maths bit mixed up. So sorry. But yeah, Bordeaux 66, Sharks 12. Damien Penaud scores 6 tries, which is the number of the devil if you put all those sixes together. So suspicious to start with. And Toulouse beating Leicester 80 points to 12. So Toulouse must have scored more than 10 tries.
I can take a look at that.
Okay.
I can find that out.
I can take it. Would you say it like a fucking German?
I can do it.
All right. Okay, the point I want to make is this is fucked, right? This wasn't a weak Leinster team. This wasn't a weak Sharks team. I'm really scared that the inequality in the finances of rugby is starting to become more important than the competitiveness of the talented players in a team, if that makes sense. Like the meritocracy of both the European Cup and the domestic leagues is starting to worry me a bit, because I always look at football where, like, you know, Premier League football, where they don't have a draft system, and they can if you've got the money, you can win, right? And it's starting to look like that. Don't get me wrong, Bordeaux and Toulouse, I fucking love watching them. They're awesome. They should not be beating either of those teams by that much. Good for them. But Sharks and Leicester, like, either they had the worst fucking day at the office or something is seriously wrong financially in rugby. We know it kind of is, but this is a big deal for me.
When I see the inequalities like that in a league,
Yeah.
it just
Because you can't drag it back. Once it's gone, it's all about money forever, you know? And it was always about money, but now it's like,
you have to, like, that's the sad part, like, especially with soccer,
yeah.
the most rich team wins.
Yes.
Right? And that's not fun to watch.
No, it's not. And
Right?
this isn't fun to watch.
And like the people like that are in charge of rugby should be terrified of this thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Like, it's just, especially like, I'm gonna bring this back, but like as a North American guy watching North American sports,
Yeah.
like it's the NFL,
Yeah.
right? It's not the richest team wins.
No, it's not.
right?
No, it's not.
The like, and you'll see the championship, like
It changes.
It moves around
Often
You
enough.
have your dynasty teams.
Yeah, and good for them,
You
right?
do have your teams that do like
Yeah.
you know, some under the table stuff to, you know, keep it happens.
Yeah. Or you
But-
get a Tom Brady
Yep.
or a Bill Belichick.
But the trophy moves around.
It does move around. And I love the draft system because it is meritocratic, right? This is a real danger now. Rugby in Europe is in a real danger of going away to the money guys forever. Like football is and was and has been for a long fucking time, right?
It will
it's
really,
scary.
it'll turn in. Yeah, it's depressing.
It is depressing.
because it's there's nothing happening in the background
Yeah.
that's gonna fix this.
No one seems to be upset about this. I mean, obviously, if you're French,
Maybe like is it a thing like if you live like in Europe, like that's just how sports go? You just accept it.
well, we've put up with that. We have only got football as our example. In North America, you have 3 major professional sports.
Or you have baseball too, but
Baseball as well, yeah, I forgot about
baseball's like an exception, right?
Right.
Because it is like the team with the most money wins.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
But
In
even
baseball.
then, it's not insanely one-sided. Like there's still enough variation in it, right?
Mhm.
But like if you look at the NHL, it's almost a different winner of the Stanley Cup every year. That's
Yep.
cool. That's real. I like that, right? We're like there's no meritocracy in the. If you told me a year ago, Toulouse, Leinster, and Bordeaux aren't going to be in the final, I'd have gone, you're lying. That's not possible, right? Just because of the resources they've got, it's not possible. And look at what's happening now, right? Like 80 points. When me and you have been in games like this, when our team was utter shite, and some team will show up and they've got 40 guys coming to practice, and they've got 2 full teams, and we barely scraped a team together. We walk onto that field in 30-degree heat going, we're going to lose this fucking game.
Yeah.
We're going to have a good time. Whatever. We're going to get fucking... And they're running in a try as often as I can lift my fucking head up to breathe. And we have not been beaten that badly in those games. 80-12. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've lost by 50 points sometimes, and it feels like they're running in a try every 2 seconds, right? Last lost by 80 fucking points. That is mental. And that says to me, like, we're in fucking trouble if we don't do something about a broad salary cap for the Champions Cup or something, you know?
I don't have time to go through like Toulouse and Bordeaux,
Yeah.
but it looks to me like there's a lot of French people on these teams.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely are. They're not a team of mercenaries.
No.
But if you are attracting people like Blair Kinghorn, or if you're attracting a guy like Jack Willis to France,
Mm-hmm.
and then not playing in the country that they're from,
Mm-hmm.
it tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? Same with Leinster. They have 2 of the best players in the world as overseas signings. That's mental.
I know, and also the talk, just the whole Champions Cup is just such a fucking.
It's shit.
It's been more exposing than
Yeah.
it has been enjoyable.
Yes. The last 2 years,
And that's
I've
the
not
main
enjoyed
talk.
it.
Like, if I type in Champions Cup Golden News,
Yeah.
there's some fucking journalist or something like that
Yeah.
bashing the way everything's going, and it's
Yeah.
exposing. It does expose the inequality between the clubs.
Yeah.
The format is just it's weird.
Yeah. Ulster have won 1 game and are through to the knockouts.
Yeah,
It's like Canadian football. You could lose basically everything and make the
Yeah,
playoffs.
it's true.
It's fucking stupid. Yeah.
But it's just it's like
I hate what it's become.
I don't think there's and the thing is that there's nothing in down the road that you can see that's they're going to do something about something like this.
That's the real
The
worry.
thing is there's 3 different leagues playing each other. You got 3 different leagues.
Yeah.
You got like what 7 different countries playing
Yeah.
with 7 different
Well, if we, yeah.
7 different completely different economic situations too.
Yeah. Different time zones.
7 completely different rugby cultures
Yeah. Yeah.
all in one league,
Which should be exciting.
which should be exciting.
And it is kind of working in the URC.
Yes.
But when you apply it to Europe, where you have, the French have got a salary cap, but it may as well not be there because the resources they've got are vastly more than everyone else, bar Leinster.
I honestly, I don't think there's anything you can do to fix.
No,
the Champions
imagine
Cup.
telling a French team, hey, can you spend less so that this is more fun? No, fuck off.
Yeah.
We love winning this.
There's no fixing. There's nothing that anyone can do
Yeah.
to fix the Champions Cup. It's going to be like this.
Yeah.
The Champions Cup will be the teams with the most finances will get to the top. You'll have the occasional team
Yeah.
that just happen to put together a really good squad.
Yeah. Yeah.
but really it's going to come down to like who's got the most resources.
Yeah, that's exactly, and that's the point that is the scariest. Is there's no way to stop this. That's what's more scary for me. It's like no one is there going, what are we going to do about this? It just feels like if the crowds are there and they're making money, they don't give a shit. So I'm worried about that.
The only thing that logically, like the only way to do it, because like it's not impossible, because the NFL's done it, the NHL's done it.
Did they not used to have all this? Did they used to have like a...
No, a lot of these leagues didn't have salary caps. They didn't have a regulation thing, like especially the NHL. They didn't have that for a long time, and you'd see the teams like back in the day, just the richest team would win.
Yeah,
right.
I didn't know that.
So how am I gonna put this here? Like that's the only way to like really do it is you'd have to level the playing field through all three leagues.
Yeah,
which is never gonna happen.
No, it's not.
Right? My eyes, there shouldn't be a Champions Cup. All three of those leagues should just be one fucking league.
European Super League with conferences.
Just a European Super League with different conferences.
Yeah.
You know, teams don't have to be traveling to South Africa or not, you know, like, because South Africans are not going anywhere.
No.
The amount of money they bring to the table, no one's saying no to them.
South Africa bring more money than all the other USC countries combined, don't
yes.
they? Yeah.
80% of the revenue of the URC comes from South African teams.
That's mental.
Right? The talent that the South Africans bring is priceless.
Yeah, it is.
The competition that they bring
is not that good.
It
isn't though, is it?
it raised the URC became
the
like
USC is much better for them in terms of the quality of the competition. Yeah, not the Champions Cup though.
No, because the Champions Cup is just like it's just not. It stretches them in a way that it financially stretches the teams and the squads
and the depth of the squad
that they're not prepared for.
Yeah,
which is strange because like South Africa has players coming out of everywhere.
But
they're competing. Like a lot of their good players are playing on Leinster. They're playing in fucking
or in Japan.
They're playing all over the place, right? So, like in my eyes, the only way to fix this, like they should just do one Super League, one salary cap.
Yeah,
right, and then you're gonna have. Like that, you have to look at like what the NFL are doing. What are the NHL? What is the NBA doing? These are the most expensive leagues. Like this is where like the eyes on these sports are crazy.
But if you compare it to the Premier League football, right? There are 4 levels of professional sports, and at every level, people are getting paid a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
So they have a model already in Europe where they're going, that works fine. So I don't think there's enough motivation for them to go.
I don't think there's motivation either, but it's going to kill. I don't know if it'll really kill the sport, but
it's killed my enjoyment of the Champions Cup.
It'll kill mine. Like just knowing that, like, oh well, what's the point of watching this?
Right, because when there's going to be 4 different teams who are going to be in the finals again.
And when you're talking about these like soccer clubs in England or whatever, like, you're talking about like hundreds of years, like 100 years of history.
Yeah.
Right. So like. Their fans are generational.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, there'll be a guy that's, like, a diehard. His whole house is covered in a team that's in the 4th division.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, you know, my father cheered for my father before.
My father died in one of the stands in the 40s.
Father, you know, like, cheered from, like that's the thing that they got going.
Yeah, they got a lot more culture and history, right?
Yeah. Way more than rugby.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially since the professional
era.
No,
it's probably true in England for sure, yeah.
So it's my eyes, it just needs to be one league. Like make it all one package.
Don't you like having 2 different competitions going simultaneously?
No, I
Like
don't.
that. Oh, okay.
I don't like it. I actually don't like it. I don't like that there's a prem. I don't like that there's 3 like top 14 URC.
No, I mean that there's a European Cup and a domestic cup, because if you put all these guys together, like I said in football, you could have one part of the league is whoever wins the league, no playoffs, but they also have a Europe-wide cup, could call it the Champions Cup if you want.
But they also have different leagues, right? They also have different leagues. There's the Spanish league, there's the German league.
Well, that's the same in rugby.
Yeah, but in rugby it's not the money, it's not
spread out, is it?
It's not spread out. The foundation for fans is not there.
Yeah. No,
it's still a growing sport.
It is
as a professional sport.
It's not been professional for that long.
No, so 1995 or some shit. Yeah. So it's just, in my eyes, that's what they need to do. They need to copy a successful model.
Copy Americans.
Yeah. and then it just make a reasonable. It'll still be like if they have a salary cap, it's still going to be too high for a lot of teams
Yeah.
because some teams will be able to afford it.
Dragons
And-
can't afford their planes to South Africa,
Yeah.
so
And the players are worth it. The players deserve it. The players deserve those high paychecks.
that's the angle. That's the angle.
Yeah.
These
They deserve-
talented superstars that we want to see week in, week out.
That are putting their bodies on the line.
I don't want to see a
They're putting
Marcus
their
Smith
livelihoods on
team
the line.
against an Antoine Dupont team and a Marcus Smith team losing by 80 points. I don't want to see that ever happen. I want to see two guys from two different countries who are the top of the game and they're young and sexy and exciting having a competitive game of rugby. That's all I want. It's not much to ask.
Yeah. So when it comes to Champions Cup, I think it's always going to be like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they'll never. And the fact that the club's finances are so different across the three leagues,
Yeah.
you're not going to see a Super League
No.
because it would financially not make sense for a lot of the teams.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the URC, Cardiff don't have that much money, but they're still relatively competitive in that league.
Yeah, we don't know. I'm not complaining about the USC. I have complained about it, but that is not my complaint today, right? My complaint today is the money is getting out of fucking control in the Champions Cup. And it's sad because this used to be the creme de la creme. Now it feels like a beauty pageant. Oh, here comes sexy Bordeaux with their money, Daddy's bought them some new lips,
What was that holographic jerseys? Wow.
Feels like a fucking beauty pageant. It didn't used to be that,
Like a
right?
helicopter into the field.
So yeah, whatever.
There's
I'm
a
sad.
side of caviar on the bench there.
Meanwhile, Adam Jones is wiping chocolate off his fucking coat. We can't afford that, boys.
Come on, boys. We got this. I agree with you. It's sad, but it's the way it is.
Yeah.
If they're going to change it, I would just, if I had my way, I would just dissolve it and make it all one thing. Because then you can, like, the product, like, it would be shitty. I think, like, they made it all one big, large league. It would be shitty for a few years, but, like, there'd be so much attention on it from everyone.
Yeah.
Because now you have French people watching a game in Cardiff
And actually giving a shit.
and actually giving a shit because their team's playing over
It's
there.
like when me and you sit down and we go, okay, this year we're going to try and watch Super Rugby more. And we watch it and we go, I just don't care, It's like, it's just so detached from us, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the other side of the planet. I want to learn about these players who I see playing for New Zealand and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I'm watching a Super Rugby game, I'm like, I just don't fucking care. I've got to put 6 a.m. to watch a hammering in Fiji. And it's like, whatever, And if I was, I get, I'm not dismissing it. It's cool for them, but it's too far away for me to give a shit. There's not enough room in my brain for all these different rugbies,
So many rugbies.
So many rugbies.
It'd
Anyway,
be easier if they were all one league. It'd be easier to follow too.
maybe. I'm a bit scared of that, but
It'd be one brand.
that's another talk. That's another talk for another time, I think.
Yeah, that is a talk. Well, friends, I think we talked about
I
everything.
got fucking serious. Jesus
Yeah, you
Christ.
did.
Look at you. Yeah.
Friends, thank you for listening
Let's reflect and pause.
to our 3-hour episode.
Fuck
No,
off.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
It's not 3 hours.
All right, I get fucking clomping.
It's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Like and share the podcast.
Yes.
Like and share it
Yes.
a lot, please.
I've got nothing to
please to
contribute.
God.
Do what he says.
Yeah, we'll pay you. No, we can't pay
I
you.
think I won't mind.
Throw a few bucks. Have a good one, folks.
Bye.
Bye.